The prelude comes before the chapel stage. Okay, oh, where was it? Our opening words are by the poet and activist Andrea Gibson, who died last week after living with ovarian cancer for several years. They were named Poet Laureate of Colorado in 2023 and they believed that reading poems out loud could be a political act. So as we light our chalice, I offer these words by Andrea Gibson. Regret is a time machine to the past. Worry is a time machine to the future. Gratitude is a time machine to the present. No one books my travel for me. I decide where I want to go. So let us decide together to be here in this moment now as we enter into a time of worship.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May the light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for Indigenous peoples everywhere. And now we invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our gathering hymn, We Would Be One.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online. Our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world. I am Kerry. I use the pronouns he, him, and his, and I am serving as our worship associate this morning. If you are visiting, I want to extend a special welcome. We invite you to fill out the visitor card in your order of service and return it to the welcome table. If you are joining us online, you can also fill out a visitor card at the link on the live stream page or in the YouTube service description. We would love to connect with you. If you have been coming for a while and are starting to feel like this is your spiritual home, consider becoming a member of this beloved community. You can learn more about becoming a member at the welcome table or by contacting Valeria Aguilar, our membership coordinator.
Welcome to this space. Bring all of who you are, in all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you live, move, and experience your embodied self, you are welcome here. With all of the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Join us as we live into our shared values with love at the center. We are so glad you're here.
And now we invite you to rise once again and join us in singing our church hymn, followed by our church aspiration in both English and Spanish.
And now I would like to invite up Connor. Connor and his husband Mo are moving to the Bay Area. Connor, come a little closer. In the time that you have been with us and your husband Mo, you have become a beloved part of this community of faith. You have worked with our children. You have offered rich and thoughtful presentations of sacred texts here. You were married here. And now you're moving to the Bay Area to pursue new opportunities. And we know that you will flourish there, and that wherever you go, the people that you encounter will be blessed by your presence. So this morning we present you with a sand dollar. And we send you with our love. This is a token of our affection for you and to remind you of your time here in San Diego. You will always have a spiritual home with us. We love you and we will miss you. And may the spirit of life and love bless you on your journey. Now I think Tony might like to say a word or two, and if you'd like to say a word, you're invited to.
Yeah, before we give you the microphone, just a special thanks from our Lifespan team. You know, when I think of Lifespan religious education, you've been a part of like every moment of it. Connor has been with our youth every Sunday for at least the past year. He's part of our young adult group and has led some adult RE groups, specifically the Sacred Text Study group. So you will be missed across all ages of our Lifespan team. And we wish you all the best as you go forward.
I don't have much to say other than that I really appreciate this community in particular. San Diego itself as a city hasn't been too welcoming to me or to my husband. We've had a lot of hardship here. But the biggest gratitude I have is this community. I feel like it has been an unashamed blessing just to me and Mo's life. And so I thank you guys, each and every one of you, for being a community and for making me have a commitment within myself to be a lifelong UU. And so I am really proud of that. Thank you so much.
And good morning, friends. I'd like to invite any children or youth who would like to come up and join me for a time for all ages. Good morning. Oh, I see a few. It's a light morning. We had a lot of our children and families at Pride yesterday, which made me very proud to see. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Hi. So today, friends, we're thinking about the things that really matter. And sometimes, I know at least for me, when I wake up and read the paper every morning, I think some of the things that really matter are these big, important, like world news kind of things. But sometimes I have to remind myself that some of the most important things in life are just small things that really are more important, or maybe important in a different way than those big newsy kind of things. And so the book I have for us today was written by really two pretty important and famous people, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and it's called The Little Book of Joy. One of us grew up in a little house. One of us grew up in a big house. Our houses were on opposite sides of the world. Often, we were sad and lonely. Both of us wished for a friend. Sometimes the other kids wouldn't let us play, or they were very far away. We wondered if we would always be sad and lonely. But when we sat still and breathed in the quiet, we noticed something beautiful. If you just focus on the thing that is making you sad, then the sadness is all you see. But if you look around, you will see that joy is everywhere. Joy is the warm, tingly feeling of the sun tickling your toes in the morning. It's the giggly, squiggly feeling when you are doing something silly. And it's the soft, snuggly feeling of being all wrapped up, cozy in your bed at night. Even when you're caught in the rain and your joy is washed away, it's waiting at the bottom of the puddle. Even if you slam the door and your joy can't get in, it's just on the other side, waiting in a loving hug. And even if there is a loud noise in the night and your joy gets scared away, it comes streaming right back with the light of every silvery moon. Joy is the bubbly, bouncy feeling of finding a good friend. And once you let joy in, like magic, your heart always has room for more. We discovered that the more joy we shared, the more joy we had. And the more joy we had, the more joy we could share. So, look for the joy all around you and share it. Write it in a letter, play it on a drum, sing it to the sky. It will travel up in the air, across the ocean. Someone will find it and share it. And as it spreads from person to person, the world will fill with joy. Almost the end. I wanted you to see this last picture of the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu sharing the joy with each other when they finally met each other. So friends, I know you bring me a lot of joy just being with you every Sunday and being able to spend time with you in your groups. And I hope you feel that same kind of joy in our congregation. And I hope you feel that same kind of joy in our congregation, you grown-ups too. And so, friends, if you'll help me, we up here are going to stand up and we're going to help lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios, universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I invite us all, any children or youth, like to come join me and your other leaders, and we'll go to our groups.
A few announcements. Lay ministers are available after the service to offer a listening presence. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, you can do that with our lay minister this morning, who is Alice over there wearing the yellow stole. Elise. I have never made that particular mistake before. Elise. Each month when there is a 5th Tuesday in the month, like in the month of July, our Journey Toward Wholeness JTW team offers a training or a workshop to help us keep moving forward toward living our value of being truly welcoming to all who seek to join us. So on Tuesday, July 29th at 6:30 in Bard Hall, JTW will offer a training based on the work of John Gottman and Patrick Lencioni. The focus will be on learning how to create and enhance safety and trust here at First UU. Please join us Tuesday, the 29th of July, 6:30 in Bard Hall. This next announcement is geared toward newcomers to First UU, but all are welcome. This morning after worship, we invite you to join our Invitation to Community session. This is a monthly program designed to help you and other new visitors or members explore and connect with our congregation. So grab some coffee and snacks after worship, visit with folks for a bit, and then join us in the common room from 11:30 to 12:30 for a few rounds of speed dating sessions to get to know your peers, followed by a short presentation that tells you about the membership process here at First UU. This is a great chance to engage with staff and fellow congregants. And lastly, a reminder that this Saturday, July 26th at 2 o'clock, we will gather to celebrate the life of Doug Diamond, who died on June 4th while traveling with his beloved wife Alice in Budapest. Saturday the 26th at 2 o'clock. Would you like to come up? I got it. I told Kara to go sit down, and I shouldn't have, because the offering words are next, which I will offer in Carrie's place. One way that we live our values each Sunday is by sharing our offering with an organization working for justice. During the months of July and August, our offering is being received in support of the Pink Haven Coalition. Pink Haven is a collective of organizations and individuals committed to trans liberation and to growing alternative systems of care for gender diverse people. They're working together to create networks of safety and direct support for all those who need to relocate, to access health care across state lines, or to stay as safe as possible where they are. Important work from Pink Haven. You can give this morning through text to give, the number's on the screen. You can also donate this morning in person through cash or check. There are containers in the middle of the sanctuary for that. And you can always give directly on our website, firstuusandiego.org. Thank you for your generosity. The morning offering will now be joyfully given and gratefully received. I know that yesterday many of you were in attendance at the San Diego Pride celebration, LGBTQ Pride. I was at our food pantry. Reverend Kristen and I have made a commitment to having a clergy presence at the food pantry each Saturday because there's been a lot of activity against immigrants. So far it has been peaceful, but we're committed to being there. And so Kristen was at Pride and I was at the pantry. And so we continue our celebration of Pride with our meditation this morning by Jay Holm called Jesus at the Gay Bar. I invite you to settle in, whether you're sitting here in the meeting house or out on the patio or watching from home. Let the chair or the sofa you are sitting on hold you in a position that is comfortable for you. If you like, you may close your eyes or perhaps have a soft focus on one of the candles on our chancel. Let yourself breathe in and breathe out. Surrounded by the love of these good people as we hear these words. He's here in the midst of it, right at the center of the dance floor. Robes hitched up to his knees to make it easy to spin. At some point in the evening, a boy will touch the hem of his robe and beg to be healed, beg to be anything other than this. And he will reach his arms out, sweat damp and weary from dance. He'll cup the boy's face in his hands and say, "My beautiful child." There is nothing in this heart of yours that ever needs to be healed. Spirit of life and love, at a time when so many hearts are breaking, may we find healing and comfort. May all those who doubt their own worthiness be reminded that they are beloved just by being who they are. Just by being who you are. You are beloved. And whenever we doubt that, may we be reminded by the love that we see reflected in one another's eyes. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
This is a new song for a lot of us, but it's the right song for this time and for today. We're going to sing it 3 times, and you are very welcome to sing along as you see how it goes, or just listen either way. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy, loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. sanctuary anew. Make us so where we are a sanctuary, each made holy, loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew.
I forgot to warn Dale that I was going to be talking about you this morning, so be warned. When Dale and I were first dating, getting to know one another, we shared the important things, you know, our life story, but also what we loved in the world, the music that we loved, the stories, the books. And Dale shared with me this reading from Stuart Little by E.B. White, and it has stayed with me all these almost 39 years. And I thought it was a fitting offering for this morning. This is Stuart Little. We know the book Stuart Little, child's book, but with a lot of wisdom by E.B. White. Stuart is a mouse who gets into some trouble, but also is very wise. And one day he is teaching a class for the children, offering to serve as substitute teacher. And so he asked the children, this is the beginning of the reading, how many of you know what's important? Up went all the hands. There were you children, I think. Very good, said Stuart, cocking one leg across the other and shoving his hands in the pockets of his jacket. Henry Rackmeyer, you tell us what is important. A shaft of sunlight at the end of a dark afternoon, a note in music, and the way the back of a baby's neck smells, answered Henry. Correct, said Stuart. Those are the important things. You forgot one thing, though. Mary Bendix, what did Henry Rackmeyer forget? He forgot ice cream with chocolate sauce on it, said Mary quickly. Exactly, said Stuart. Ice cream is important. Here ends our reading.
This is listed as special music, but we had a suspicion that some of you might sing along, so please feel welcome to do so. I am open and I am willing to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family.
Thank you, Andrea and Tomas, and all of you. Beautiful singing. I'm remembering the year 2000, the presidential election in which George W. Bush was declared the winner. The Supreme Court decided that the contested votes in Florida would not be counted. And I can still hear the condescending tone of James Baker as he wagged his finger at Al Gore for daring to challenge the election in the courts, as was his right. Folks remember that? This is what happens when you go. And I remember at the time thinking that this was the worst thing that could ever happen in this country. Certainly in my lifetime. Now, this was before September 11th and before COVID, and long before the current president rode down that escalator, leading us all into this current downward spiral that we are in, leading us away from the rule of law, away from a respect for basic civil liberties, away from the separation of powers and the role of Congress and the courts to be a check against executive overreach, away from respect for science and acknowledgement of basic facts, away from an appreciation of sacrifices made for the common good. And I was talking about all this recently with a beloved congregant, and she said that the thing that helps her deal with this is remembering that it could always be worse. Yes, I suppose hot lava could flow down the aisle right now. That would be worse. But hearing her say this reminded me that all those years ago, back in 2001, after the election was settled and George W. Bush had taken office, in my view, the least qualified person ever elected to the office of president, and I remember deep in the recesses of my mind this awful thought that I had not remembered until this moment when I was talking with this congregant, that what if someday we look back on this moment as the good old days, when the worst thing was just an underqualified man serving as president, a good old boy who decided to run for president because he was passed over as commissioner of baseball. I could not make that up. Yes, things can and do get worse. So what do we focus on when all around us everything is happening at once? Climate change escalating with increasing catastrophic weather events for which we seem woefully unprepared, almost by design. I mean, what a terrible time to cut funding to NOAA and FEMA. Floods, wildfires, sea level rise, the loss of entire species of animals because of a loss of habitat, and I would include human animals in that worry of losing their habitats, becoming climate refugees. Immigration, injustice, and cruelty, which seems to be the point. Setbacks, no rollbacks in reproductive justice, cuts to healthcare, life-saving healthcare here and around the world. The cruelty of current policies seems to be the point, to make us lose hope, feel overwhelmed. How do we combat that hopelessness? Well, one thing we can do is not make it easier for them to harm us, right? To not capitulate in advance. To not make it easier for them to harm us by harming ourselves and each other. We need to take care of our own bodies, minds, and spirits with mindfulness, meditation, remembering to breathe, things we do here in worship each week to help soothe our jagged nervous systems. And my friends, we can avoid turning on one another. We recently hosted an event with Jewish Voice for Peace. This is a progressive Jewish group led by mostly younger Jewish people, it seems. That's who showed up for this event. They are committed to finding a peaceful solution to the struggles in Israel and Palestine, a solution that honors the rights of Palestinians as well as the Israeli Jewish people. But the state of Israel currently equates being pro-Palestinian as being anti-Jewish. Right? And we've heard that same kind of rhetoric here, as if all Palestinians and their supporters want to see the state of Israel eliminated. And no doubt there are voices on the extremes who want to see all Jewish presence eliminated, just as there are Israeli extremists who want to see all Palestinians eliminated, removed from the homeland to which they lay claim. But beloveds, most people are in the middle somewhere, right? Praying and working for a peaceful solution that allows dignity, agency, and safety for all. But we are not going to get there if we try to silence all debate. In response to our decision, First UU's decision to host this Jewish Voice for Peace event, the focus of which was an analysis of the ways in which the Anti-Defamation League seems to have lost its way. Happy to talk more about that in another time. We, First UU, were subjected to a barrage of angry emails, including one that somehow went to the home email of one of our staff members. This person looked her up on LinkedIn, found her home email, and sent it to her home. And the entire staff, or much of the staff, was treated to emails sent by bot, apparently. We received over 2,000 emails in just 2 days. Incredibly disruptive, right? Probably designed to take our server down, which didn't happen. It did not happen. And they were calling on us to cancel the event, labeling the Jewish Voice for Peace as a hate group. But there was no clear way to respond. There was no individual or group that we could reach out to have a conversation with. It was just a barrage of, you are fomenting anti-Semitism, how dare you, shame on you. Calling us to cancel the event, this act of cyber harassment. This kind of behavior is not going to help us find consensus, and it certainly isn't moving us toward peace. And in fact, it made me even more committed to hosting the event. I even interrupted my vacation to attend. I wanted to be there for it and make sure that it would be safe. Thank you. You don't really want to reward your minister for interrupting her vacation, but thank you. It was important. What really matters here, right? This is a sermon about what really matters. What really matters here is that we find a way to keep the hate that is out there in the current administration and in the rising tide of autocracy and oppressive tactics, unfortunately spreading around the world, from drowning us, right? We have to keep that rising tide of hatred from drowning us. We cannot do everything, so we must hold fast to what really matters. And we must hold on to each other, finding each other, offering support and sustenance, not combat and not resistance to all critique. We owe each other support and guidance, offered with love and respect, not derision or contempt. So what really matters? Donald Trump being on Jeffrey Epstein's list, does that really matter? I mean, it's titillating. That birthday card, which may or may not be making the rounds. It certainly matters to the women and girls who were harmed by Epstein and his friends, absolutely. And I'm glad that that's being pursued. So far, the only person in jail for all that is a woman. And I hope that People will be brought to justice no matter their position. But does it really matter to us in the day-to-day whether or not he's on that list? And I say this as much for myself as for any of you. We have to stop falling for the magical thinking of now we've got him, right? At this time he's gone too far. And he's finally going to be punished. Did you ever watch Batman or Superman as a kid, right? The villain was always punished by the end of the hour, but the next week he was back. There was always another episode of villainy. We cannot afford to spend energy on hoping that he will finally be caught in some trap. Too many people seem not to care or are willing to look the other way, and my friends, that is what is important. Too much power concentrated in the hands of people, mostly men, allowing them to live above the law, pursuing their own pleasures and excesses at the expense of those whom they have been called to serve. That's the important thing. That's what needs to change, and that is what we should insist on every time there is an election. And no, I will not be encouraging you to vote or not vote for any individual. Apparently the Johnson ruling has been overturned or is under challenge. I believe in the separation of church and state. I also think that the law is the minimum standard that we should follow, right? We have principles and values that guide us. So you're not going to hear Reverend Kristen or me campaigning for individuals, but we will speak our values and we will speak truth regardless of who is in power. And in our own lives, what really matters? What, in the words of Mary Oliver, will you do with your one precious life? Raising children who feel safe and loved, doing work that matters to you and that offers something to the world, whether it is a smile to a customer, or a house clean to sparkling perfection, or a new law written that might bring more justice to the world, making art, offering kindness and compassion to those around you. Those are things that might matter to you in your life, to us in our lives. And in the larger world, working for justice, feeding the hungry, offering comfort, avoiding harm, caring for our planet. And what about in our places of worship? Does First UU matter? Does First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego matter? Yes. Thank you. Must there be a progressive worshiping community, a UU congregation here in San Diego? Yes. Well, why? Why does it matter? Why are we here? Why are we important? Well, our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and help heal our aching world. Are those important goals? Worthy of our attention at a time when so much pulls at us for our attention? That mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and help heal the world. Beloveds, it is not a to-do list. What's the great thing about a to-do list? Crossing things off the list, right? This is not a to-do list. It's a circle, each step folding into the next and back around again. We create community by gathering, by offering care and companionship to one another. We nurture spiritual growth, and that word nurture is an interesting choice. Yes, we nurture spiritual growth in ourselves, but to me the word nurture is usually used to suggest an outward focus, right? We nurture our children, our students, our loved ones. And in community, which we are always creating, we nurture spiritual growth in each other. Sometimes by offering a prayer, by singing together, by considering deep questions together. But sometimes nurturing spiritual growth in one another means noticing and gently saying to one another, "You seem to have lost your way. I am worried for you." The way that you have been behaving does not seem to reflect who you are at your best. What is going on with you? How can I help? How can we help? Calling one another into covenant, not shaming or gossiping about one another, but naming our concerns with love. Does first you matter? Is it important that this community of faith continue to be here, not just for us, but for those who come after us? If your answer is yes, then I invite you to tell your friends and invite them to church. Is everybody breathing? That's a scary thing, right? We don't proselytize. Start small with a concert or a potluck so they can see who we are and what we are about. But why wouldn't you share something that you love so much with the people who are dear to you? Tell them. Tell them about us. Tell them about what this congregation means to you, and invite them to check us out. If you have friends who have drifted away from First UU because of conflict or COVID, invite them back. Tell them that we miss them. Tell them what you love about this community and why you are here. Our mission is not a to-do list, it is a circle. Creating community is not something we do once and then stop. It requires constant feeding. And thirdly, help me and all your church leaders to guide this beautiful community of faith toward your sustainable future. We've got to decide if we can stay at this location with some new development and possible reconfiguring of our space, or if our mission would be better served at a new location, right? We've got to decide this. Our Sustainable Future team is hard at work, focused on some things over this coming church year, completing our needs assessment, that is talking with a few more groups and individuals to make sure we have an accurate picture of the space needs that we have to support our mission, right? That's at the center, to support our mission. We need to clarify with the city how much of our space can be developed and at what density and for what purpose. And then we need to find developers who would like to develop housing or some other suitable projects in this space, receive and evaluate their proposals. Keep an eye out for suitable property that might meet the needs that we identify. And then decide together on the best course of action. And then move together in that direction, not second guessing, not undermining once we decide, supporting one another. We talk a lot about the gift of leadership. We need to work on our followership, my friends. Right? We're drawn, again, some amens there. We're drawn to strong leaders, and then we compete with them, we tear them down. You choose your leaders carefully and wisely, and then you need to follow them. You need to listen to them. You need to trust them. So let's work on that. We build trust by being trustworthy and by offering trust. That is what matters. That we get where we're going, yes, but how we go also matters. Amen? We are in this thing together. A shaft of sunlight at the end of an afternoon. We honor the natural beauty of this amazing world. A note in music. We make the world more beautiful by lifting our voices together in song, in prayer, and in the spaces in between. The way the back of a baby's neck smells. And I thank you, those of you who have been having babies, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, it's just a delight. We care not only for ourselves and the beloveds now here, we care also for the next generation and the next, for the young and the frail. We belong to one another. And ice cream with chocolate sauce. We make room for joy, for pleasure, for sweetness. This is what really matters. Let us hold fast to our values, to our love for one another, and our love for this faith, and together let us work to heal this aching world. May it be so. Amen.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join us in our closing hymn, Keep on Moving Forward. Vamos todos adelante. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Vamos todos adelante. Siempre adelante. Siempre adelante. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Trabajemos para el cambio. Siempre para el cambio. Siempre para el cambio. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Never turning back. Never turning back.
You may be seated for our closing words. As we extinguish our chalice, I again offer words from the poet Andrea Gibson. On my deathbed, I might not give much thought to my pronouns or who got them wrong. Who I am might not mean much then, in the moment right before I am about to be everything. But for now, I am so human and so easily soothed by the sound of somebody calling me home with a name I can find myself in. For now, that porch light is a universe where nothing that is tender doubts I exist. Beloveds, go forth in peace.